is Keith. Whichever, take your pick.
I get to pick?
Yeah. You want the whole piece?
I thought I was getting Mastermind.
Oh, sorry. That's right. Yeah, I was going to get Mastermind, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, dear. Hang on.
I haven't even looked at the questions this week.
Pass.
So I get a starter for 10.
Let me just pray for both of you. So, Holy One, right now, we ask that you pour your Spirit out upon Keith and upon Tony as they share with us as a congregation, as we get to know them better, as we get to know each other better. May you be present. May you move in our hearts and our minds so that we may see you in each other and get to know you better. And we ask this, Jesus, in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
So, of course, the first question is, where did you grow up? And do you have a special memory about growing up that you'd like to share with us?
Well, I grew up in the middle of the countryside, out in a small little hamlet, sub-village of a village called Hydes, in a little village called Hambledon, which was in a town called Godalming, which is just outside Guildford, in the middle of nowhere, really. And
Guildford.
It was, yeah, and it was very quiet. And in 1962, you may remember, there was a very cold winter, over 62 into January, February time, and that's one of the hardest winters around. The Thames froze over, and come October, I was the result of it.
Okay.
As they say, you know, you often wonder what people did before the internet and everything else. Then I look at my 7 brothers and sisters. It was a lovely growing up, and I was really lucky. I always had a roof over my head, clothes on my back, food on the table. My dad worked hard, and my mum worked hard bringing us all up. And I was very lucky and very fortunate in the way I was brought up. I still get on with all my brothers and sisters. We have no rifts or anything like that, which is very rare in life these days. So I count my blessings very much on that. And times that were special really were the family holidays. We used to go away every year for a family holiday down here to Sussex. Funnily enough, we were in Surrey. And we used to hire a bungalow, and we'd have the big family holidays, and there could be up to 20 or 30 of us crammed into this bungalow, sleeping on chairs and floors and air beds and bunk beds and tents and everything else. And they were great fun, and I have very fond memories of those. And then the other one, of course, is Christmas. Christmases were always very special. Waking up when we were younger, and you'd all get up in the morning, and Mum would have been up with the turkey in the oven and lit the fire downstairs, and then we'd all cram into their bedroom, piled all over their beds, and at the bottom of their bed would be this huge pile of presents. And my mother bought presents to each of us, from each of us, before we could buy presents for ourselves. Wow. So, you know, it was this huge pile, and she did all that shopping, and we'd be called in before, do you want to give this to so-and-so, do you want to give this to so-and-so? Like, yeah, that's great. So Christmas and holidays really were the time.
So was your family religious at all?
Religious? Not overly, no. My father was an undertaker, so had a broad base of spiritual life through that, I think. He had his own faith, and I know he had his own faith, which really didn't get talked about very much. But you saw signs of it throughout life. But, you know, we sang in the church choir and things as kids. I think most of us went through a time of being in the choir, getting paid 6pence a service, so it was worth it. The only reason we did it was for the money. And then weddings you got extra, so that was good. And I think we went up to a shilling after that. And there we go. So it was big money. Yeah. It was worth doing. No, there wasn't really a huge religious thing. School, we went to a Church of England school, so you know we were services at Christmas, Easter, and everything else. And the vicar came in once a week teaching RE. So we were exposed to Christianity in the Church of England very early on. But that was it, really. Yeah.
So, the next question is, do you consider yourself a Christian? And since you're our treasurer and on the board, then I'm keeping my fingers crossed here. And in which case, tell us about your faith and how that affects your life.
I describe myself actually as spiritual with a Christian call. As I can find spirituality in many different directions, and gain spiritual experience from other religions as well. But you know, I have a very hard Christian core, because that's what I grew up with, that's what I know, that's what I feel, and that's what I have inside of me. It's really difficult. I think I was a lay reader in the Church of England, and then when I finally came to terms with being gay, it coincided with moving away from where I was, and my faith sort of got lost, I think, at that point, because I came and was trying to find a spiritual home as being a gay man, and where could I live a Christian life, and was it actually compatible? And I just didn't know at that time. And I came to Brighton, and I tried a few churches and found that, yes, there were lots of gay Christians around, but nobody talked about it. There was openly gay priests, but nobody talked about it, and things like that. So I was very unsure about whether it really was okay or not for a long time. But somewhere inside of me, there was always this part of me that was empty. When I stopped going to the Anglican churches, because I fell out with the vicar and we had differences in opinions on things, I had this big emptiness in me when I was going nowhere and had nothing. And there was something spiritual inside of me that needed to be filled. So my faith was still there inside of me, but I just didn't have anywhere to express it or to use it. But preempting probably another question is, it really came back because then I found MCC Brighton, our sister church, and you haven't asked me how I found that, so you can always say, well, how did you find MCC? And I think that's one of your questions later on, so I'll preempt that one as well. And like most other people, strangely enough, I'm sure this is how everybody finds MCC. It was chatting to somebody in a chat room. But I don't know how we all found it. No. And something about, he just made this flyaway comment, oh, I've got to go now, I'm off to church. You're like, hang on a minute, you're not going anywhere. What? So he sort of mentioned MCC, and I then found a bit more about it, and went along to MCC in Brighton, where it was at the time, and suddenly that spiritual void had been filled. It was something that just sort of slotted straight back into place again. And I've been with MCC now since 2004. So involved with, say, MCC Brighton, and now here with the Village Church, with the work that we're doing here. I'm very much believing in the mission that we have for reaching out into LGBT communities and providing a safe space for LGBT people to explore the faith that they have. And they've always been afraid to go to mainstream churches. It's about providing a safe spiritual home.
Or found what you found.
Yeah, to re-find themselves. I'm sure there are others out there who've been turned away or hurt by mainstream church, or misdirected by mainstream church, and so it's a space very much where I think we can provide something to help them if they want to sort of fill that void.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that one. And that one. That's confusing. Yeah, were there any particular turning points apart from chat rooms and?
I think when you often talk about this experience of finding God. And that happened when before I realised or accepted that I was gay, and when I was still in the church, the little village church, and I wasn't in the church. I'll tell a lie. It was before that. I was at home one Sunday. I hadn't been to church for years, and I woke up on a Sunday with just this urge and desire that I wanted to go to church. I had no idea why. So I quickly said, I'm just going out for a walk, not telling anybody where I was going. So I walked, you could walk a beautiful walk across the fields to the church, about 2.5 miles. And I went there, and there were people there that remembered me from the past, and that was really nice. And then suddenly one of the chaps comes up and says to me, oh, have you heard about any of the events we're having next week? And I'm like, no, what's this? He said, well, we've got a group of team coming down for the weekend, and we're having a spiritual weekend. We're going to have a men's breakfast. Would you like to come? So it's great. Men's breakfast. Take your own plate, and they cook you a nice cooked breakfast, and you sat there, and we listened to this chap speaking, and it was an older chap. He was called Canon Keith de Berry, and I couldn't tell you what he said or what it was, but there was something about it that made me want to hear more. And so I went to church again on the Sunday, and they said, oh, you used to sing in the choir, didn't you? Oh, go and sit in the choir, we need somebody in the choir. So I sat in the choir stalls And then he preached on the Sunday again, and I just knew that I had to make some kind of step forward. You know, I think that horrible word commitment was just a step forward in life for me to actually accept much more about God and Christianity in my life. And that's what I did. And from that moment on, you know, Christianity was my spiritual core.
So, do you have a favourite Bible story?
Oh, it has to be Joseph. Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Why?
Right. Well, I'm just jealous of that coat. Never been bold enough to wear big, brightly coloured clothes. I'm just jealous of his ability to wear big, brightly coloured clothes.
And is that?
And that's it.
Okay.
Nothing spiritual.
Keith, thank you very much.
Thank you.